You are always worthy of greatness. Greatness belongs to you. But it is not something that comes overnight.
You've got to want that pressure. You've got to want things to be hard. You can't seek out the easy life. You can't just hope and pray that you can uncover inside of you some talent that's laid dormant that you didn't know about that's going to let things be easy for you. Don't want the easy. Want the hard. Want the pressure. Want the thing that's going to turn you into something.
And I don't think that it's optional for us to sit on what we have. See, if you're sitting on what you have, what you've been given, I think everybody's been given something to bring to the planet.
Sometimes you're gonna have to get knocked down. And getting knocked down does not mean that you stay down. Getting knocked down doesn't mean that you're not breathing. Getting knocked down doesn't mean that it's over. Getting knocked down doesn't mean that you just stay on your back because that ground is hard and it's cold. Now you got to understand, if you're gonna stay down, you better learn how to get up. What do? You want failure to tell you what to do? You want failure to make you feel that you don't have anything left to give of yourself. Failure will not apologize. It is designed to teach you a lesson.
Because when it's easy, you don't work for it. When it's easy, you don't push. When it's easy, you get surpassed by the person who has to give it their all, who's prepared to do blood, sweat, and tears in order to become that thing that they want to be so badly because they are so fucking angry that they were never given anything. And with that chip on their shoulder, they're determined to become anything that they set their mind to. So whether you have talent, whether you don't, the only thing that matters is, will you persevere? Will you stick with it long enough to get great?
It is designed to make you better. Welcome to failures. Yes, there are many people in the world who refuse to fail. Every living human being must fail. You must humble yourself. You must be willing to understand that with a failure, sooner or later, a victory will be waiting for you. But there's always a greater force out there that's maybe a little bit tougher and a little bit stronger than you. And when it comes, you just gotta work a little bit harder so that you can overcome it. That may be a relationship that you're facing right now. The workplace may be a little challenging for you right now. Just raising your children may be a little challenging for you. But that doesn't mean that it's over. There's always gonna be work to be done.
Choice is one of the most intoxicating things in your life. It's one of the most beautiful things that any of us are ever going to encounter. But hiding in that beauty is the most destructive force imaginable. Because if you want to get something done, if you want to do that thing that burns inside of you, you have to remember, you can do anything once you stop trying to do everything. The key to really being successful, the key to doing something at a grand scale, the key to playing on a world stage is to pick something, to be able to stand in a room with 1,000 doors and shut 999 of them, to have the balls to know which path you're willing to take and to exclude all others. But until you can do that, you're never going to be able to develop the skill set that you're going to need to perform, because here is the reality.
In order to do it, some people just go to sleep. And some people do things like go shopping or watch TV, but we're going to talk about that in your next take. Those are people that are changing what they're focusing on. But the primary way most of us try and change how we feel is by changing the way we use our physical body. Drugs is the most obvious example. We've already talked about that. Cocaine. Why? Because it changes their state rapidly. That's why people still purchase it even though it destroys their life simultaneously. They don't focus on that. The point is, any change in your physical body makes an immediate radical change in the way that you feel. So what you've got to learn to do is use this to your advantage. Instead of being at the effect of things, immediately change your emotions. So right now, let me give you a frame of reference about what I'm saying. I learned a long time ago that if I really wanted to succeed on an ongoing basis, I probably needed to measure my level of emotion, my level of intensity. I got a lot of this by working with professional athletes. I noticed that most athletes are really conscious of and pay attention to managing their emotions and their state.
That only you can do that. Only you can perform that. Only you can initiate that activity. And if you don't do that, if you're not filling in your life with your life work or your mission, then there are gaps in your life. And what we do when we're not living out our true identity, we begin to fill the gaps. We fill the holes with garbage, alcohol, drugs, worry, self-destructive behavior. So when you begin to look at your life and you know that you're not doing what you can do because you have allowed yourself to be held captive by your fears.
You watch a tennis player, every time before he hits the ball, he bounces the ball the exact same way, the exact same rhythm, kind of anchors himself, if you will, triggers himself back in the state. Football players do it differently. They grab their buddy's head and wham, 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 and smack heads with them, and they feel good. Now, baseball players, they spit, grab their legs, scratch the ground, but they do certain things every time to get themselves in state. And as I started to work with professional athletes, people like the Los Angeles Dodgers, or the United States Army, or individual Olympic athletes, focused on are they ready or not, kind of checking their state. But you see, in life, I think life is not black and white. I look at life as having many hues and colors and shades. So one day I pulled one of these guys aside and I said, look, it's not are you ready or you're not. Let's try a stupid game, okay? Let's pretend we're going to measure your level of power and readiness on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 is you're dead, 10 is you're absolutely unstoppable. I said, where are you on that scale? The guy said, well, I'm about level 7, 6.5, 7.
Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, and you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson. That I couldn't understand it then. But after I got through it, then I saw that that was preparing me for bigger and better things. That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. When you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through.
I said, well, you're about to bat right now against Dwight Gooden. Tell me, if you stay at level 7, what's going to happen? You know what's amazing? Instantly, he could tell me. When he realized where he was, he said, I'll either ground out, or I'll pop up, or I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to strike out. I said, what level do you need to be at on a scale from 0 to 10 to be successful with Dwight Gooden? He's at level 12. I said, okay, that gives me a frame of reference. So you also need to know where you need to be successful. Now, with an athlete, it's pretty clear. For peak performance, they got to be at level 10 or above, if you will, on a scale from 0 to 10. But isn't your life just as important as an athlete's? If you're going to go in right now and you're going to influence your son or daughter to do something like get excited about their schoolwork, how are you going to do that if you're at level 3? It's not going to happen. Too often I see parents that go, I just can't motivate my children. I just don't understand why. I talk to them about all the reasons why they should really go for it.